Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher this week is Lao Tzu, and today's message from Lao Tzu is full of analogies about water. And I really love Lao Tzu's analogies involving water. In the eternal dance between stream and stone, there exists a profound truth that challenges everything that we've been taught about strength. Lao Tzu observed this natural wisdom centuries ago. The water always wins, not through force, but through gentle, unwavering persistence. Somebody, good morning. It is great to see you. Hello. We live in a culture that glorifies hardness, that mistakes rigidity for resilience and aggression for achievement. Yet nature tells us a very different story. Lao Tzu says, the softest things in the world overcome the hardest things in the world. He says, in the world there is nothing more submissive and weak than water, yet for attacking that which is hard and strong, nothing can surpass the strength of water. Nothing is softer and more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it. Water is the softest thing, says Lao Tzu, yet it can penetrate mountains and earth. This shows clearly the principle of softness overcoming hardness, says Lao Tzu. Maggie, a very good morning. It's awesome seeing you. Hello. How do we harness this gentleness that is so obviously saturated with relentless power? Anthony, good evening. Hello, man. Awesome seeing you. Lao Tzu answers this question quite clearly. How do we embody this gentleness that is so obviously saturated with raw power? Lao Tzu says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. And he says, have patience. Wait until the mud settles and the water is clear. Remain unmoving until right action arises by itself. It's really not a secret, but it's still so misunderstood that it almost seems true to say that the secret is surrender. Surrender means to stop splashing in your pond. Take a step back and just breathe. Surrender means to first just observe, just watch until the water settles and clarity appears. Beautifully depicted in Lao Tzu's words, remain unmoving until the right action arises by itself. Surrender is not an attempt to escape, but the firm decision to stand in front of the truth in clarity, just as the truth is. Surrender comes with the commitment to take action. When even a little bit of clarity becomes visible. And then surrender means nothing if it doesn't include being surrendered to what needs to get done. Being surrendered to taking action when the right action becomes more clear. Surrender is not giving up, but it is releasing the need to control, to soften the urge to resist. Surrender is not passivity. It is actively observing, waiting for clarity to emerge, like sediment settling at the bottom of a muddy pond. It is the courage to face truth, however uncomfortable, and the commitment to take action based on that newfound understanding. This is our journey today. Today's meditation is simply called Surrender. Let's slip into an experience of surrender. You can close your eyes and we'll float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling, and once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is reflected in the rise of every cell in your body. Every slow, long exhale is reflected in the slow softening of every cell in your body. Today's journey is about surrender. And you can use your exhale to fully embody surrender. While you continue your full body breathing, take a moment to muse about your relationship with surrender. Surrender means to stop splashing. Stop splashing in your pond, because splashing just muddies the water. Splashing makes us feel like we're doing something, which feels like better than doing nothing. But splashing completely robs us of the remote possibility of having any clarity. Surrender means to first just observe. Surrender really means to almost always first just observe. Just watch until the water settles and even a little bit of clarity becomes available. Now we have to understand clarity as not seeing from the first step of a journey all the way to the end destination. That's not what clarity means. Sometimes clarity is just the next step. Surrender is not the same as trying to escape. Surrender is the firm decision to stand in front of the truth in clarity, just as it is. Surrender comes with the willingness to take action when I can see that next step. Because surrender, as much as it sounds like this passive thing, surrender really is nothing if it does not include being surrendered to taking action when I can see what action to take. Being surrendered to doing what needs to get done. We'll take the last few breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as we can find for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. See if you can tilt your head to the left while you tilt your hips to the right. Curve your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. and switch. Tilt your head to the right, your hips to the left. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at the very least, becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want to ask you again, what is your relationship to surrender? What has your historic experience of surrender been? Is it something that you are forming a deeper understanding of? What is your relationship with surrender? Take your next big breath. I want you to bring to your mind a recent moment of struggle that you have experienced. The more recent, the better. But if you don't find anything really recent, then of course, search further back. A moment where you felt like you were struggling. There's perhaps some anxiety involved, and perhaps also it felt like things really were not clear. What to do next was probably not certain. Can you remember such a recent moment? Take your next big breath. We have this inherent understanding that nothing happens unless we take action. And this has been impressed upon us our whole lives. I'm sure we all have experience of being shamed for not taking action. Feeling guilty in moments of not being busy. So while action is indeed a necessity, action that is devoid of wisdom tends to only repeat the same old patterns over and over again. And this is why we have struggled to learn about surrender. Bring back your image of struggle and compare it to the image of splashing in your pond. Often when we feel that level of struggle, it feels like we have to do something. And how often does our doing simply result in more splashing and even less clarity? Take a moment to look at what splashing in your pond looks like. Can you recall a moment of yourself reactively taking action? Reactively acting from a space that's more emotional than wise? What examples do you have of trying to do the right thing but reactively causing more damage? Take your next big breath. In your example, what might it have looked like to stop splashing and just for the moment, not forever, but for the moment get out of this pond? How could you possibly have applied that to your example? For a moment, no more doing, just breathing and observing, seeing what's really there. How could you have applied stepping out of the pond to your example? Take your next big breath. The old teachings all tell us that water, when there's no interference, will return to its natural state, calm and clear. These old teachings all tell us that this is the same for our natural state. Without interference, we will return to our natural state, calm and clear. Lao Tzu asks, do you have the patience to wait for the water to settle? In your example, what would have become available to you if you were able to just take a step back for a moment, get out of the pond, don't splash, just breathe? What would have become available in your example? Take your next big breath. In your example, what conversation would have become available if you had stepped out of your pond and given it a moment? This could be a conversation with another person. How could this conversation have gone if you had waited for the water to settle? But this could also be a conversation with you. What conversation would you have been able to have with you if you had gotten out of the pond, waiting for the water to settle? Take your next big breath. And then as the water settles, what clarity might have emerged from a clearer pond? What clear action would you have been able to see if you gave it a moment? And then would you be ready and willing to act when you can see what action to take? And of course, sometimes the action that becomes clear is not to engage. Sometimes the action that becomes clear is to walk away. Whatever I do here will just be a waste of energy. Whatever I do here is just going to create more splashing. Now that's not always true, but we need wisdom to know the difference. And in this calm pond, wisdom is definitely more available. In your example, what action would have become more clear if you had waited for the water to settle? Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back. You can even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you one more time. Lao Tzu's beautiful conversation about water. He says the softest things in the world overcome the hardest things in the world. He says, in the world there is nothing more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it. Nothing is softer, more flexible. Sorry, that's the one I just read. He says, in the world there's nothing more submissive and weak than water, yet for attacking that which is hard, nothing can surpass the strength of water. It can penetrate mountains and earth. This shows clearly the principle of softness overcoming hardness. And then he speaks about how we get there. He speaks about surrender when he says, when I let go of what I think I am, then I become what I might be. He says, have patience, wait until the mud settles and the water becomes clear. He says, remain unmoving until the right action becomes clear by itself. Clearly, in this surrender, he's not trying to say that we never take action. He calls it, very much like Buddhism calls it, right action. Because just taking action is very often also just splashing. Right action. This could also be interpreted as action plus wisdom. The wisdom to know when to take a step forward, and the wisdom to know when to take a step back. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for these beautiful analogies involving water. It is really so descriptive. To me, at least, it makes it easier to see. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to catch myself splashing. realizing that every action I'm taking right now is adding to the confusion. Stop, take a breath, get out the pond. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to trust in surrender. Learning to understand that surrender is not giving up, but giving up the need for control. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to hold this balance, this paradox. The ability to take a step back, being surrendered to doing nothing for the moment, and equally being surrendered to taking action and doing what needs to get done. What a balance. Of course it takes us a long time to learn. The balance between doing nothing and also taking action. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. If you've ever been frustrated with yourself, try and remember this. This is a tall order. Of course we struggle learning this. You must do nothing, and also you must take action. Naturally, it's going to take us a while to learn how to find the balance there. Lots of love to you all. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Charlene. Wishing you a beautiful day. See you soon.